BulkLoads Podcast, your number one resource for everything bulk freight trucking.
All right, that's the concept.
Hey guys, welcome to the BulkLoads Podcast. I got Tanner in here today.
It's good to be here. Good to be here. First one.
We got Jared is out on the road. He's not here today, so we get the honor of filling in for him. Tanner, we're going to be covering some exciting stuff today. We got a lot that is going on here in the BulkLoads office. Before we do that, we're going to feature a truck here. So today's truck feature is going to be Austin Harrison Trucking LLC out of Randolph, Nebraska. Austin's been a member since 2021, so a couple of different years now. Austin, we appreciate your membership. Dude, this is a cool truck. What do you think of it?
It's a good looking rig.
Yeah,
man.
He's got, Joe will throw the picture up, but yeah, I like the classic Pete's. You can't go wrong with those. Just the two-tone color scheme. I think it looks really, really good. We've got a couple of different pictures on here. There's one where he kind of has the lights on in the night. That's a cool picture too. So as a reminder, guys, send those pictures into us. I've been seeing them come through on Instagram and Facebook. We'll feature them on our podcast, but also we will consider them for next year's calendar. So be sure to send those to us. Tanner, let's go ahead and jump into it. What do we got going on? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Really excited to be here and to announce, really a new service we're going to be offering all of our guys. After hearing about it almost every day on the phone of, maybe it's setting up an authority, maybe it's doing their IFTAs. We're excited to announce that we're going to be doing bulk loads permitting. And so we're really going to be working to take care of all those things that no one wants to do so that our guys can focus on being on the road, right? Staying busy, growing their business, and we'll handle all those back end things for them. And so after just a lot of demand and a lot of guys asking, we're really excited to roll this out. I'm
always excited to be able to offer another service to our members just because we're able to take something off their plate from doing. So over the past couple of months, Tanner, you are going to be heading up this thing. So I've just been trying to soak it all in. Like the past couple of months, I have no idea what all went into like the permitting and setting up a new authority, doing IFTAs, doing all that. And I'm just like hearing you talk about it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's so much. Like you have to deal with the FMCSA and the government and you got to do so much paperwork. So I'm glad that you are doing this. First off, you're taking that up.
I think I'm glad I'm doing it.
And then also, I'm just really glad that we're able to take these off of members' plates. And we've already had guys reach out to you wondering like, hey, like how can I get started? I need these permits or whatever. We're offering bulk loads permitting. So setting up new authorities, doing IFTAs, registering a new LLC, doing all that stuff. Over the next couple of weeks, you will see a tab on bulk loads. And we'll eventually get it on the app that says permitting, and you can click there and kind of read a little bit about it. You can submit a form on there saying that you're interested in getting in contact with Tanner, but we are going to start doing it now. So, Tanner, how can people get a hold of you right now?
Yeah, I'll give you guys my direct phone number. It's 417-262-5511. And so you give me a call and I'd be happy to help you out. And really, like you said, Tyler, whether it's somebody who needs to start at the very beginning, set up an LLC, an EIN, and set up their whole authority, all the way down to their IFTAs and their heavyweight tax, or it's someone who has been set up for years, but just it's too much to handle for those annual filings, for those quarterly filings. So everything in between, renewing your plates, that's our goal, is just to take something off their hands to make it easier. And that way you can focus on being on the road, booking more loads, making more for your business, and hopefully getting more time with your family.
Yeah, this is really cool. And I'm excited to learn more and more, but I assume we're going to plan for Jared to bring you on the podcast and just do a full episode over here's what you guys need to know, and here's what we'll be doing on our end. But yeah, I think it's really cool. So if you guys are interested, reach out to Tanner at his number. You can also reach him at tanner@bulkloads.com, or you can email in permits@bulkloads.com there, and we will go ahead and get you guys handled, and Tanner can talk with you. So today's podcast, Jared is bringing on Dubbels Trucking out of Randolph, Minnesota. He brings on Garlan Dubbels. they have been a member with us for 13 years.
Wow.
So all the way since the beginning.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And they've really got a cool story just about how they start off, just, farming. And then Garlan really got into the trucking, hauling his own stuff. And then just the way he acquired business around him with other farmers saying, hey, I've got this, can you give me a truck to haul this product? So he's got a really cool story of how they've really built the business up. I believe they're over 40 trucks now. So they're really, they're getting after it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way that Garlan has just gone about his business and seen the opportunities, they even have their own washout. They got their own washout. And I think he said that they were the only trucking company in Minnesota that has their own hopper dryer too. Okay. So they're just, they're doing it right. They're doing it smart. Garlan touches over many different things, what he did wrong, and just gives great advice to any owner operators who are wanting to grow and are wanting to make that move up into multiple trucks. So without further ado, Dubbels Trucking LLC, Jared and Garlan.
Garlan, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, you all have been BulkLoads members since the very beginning. I think 2011. I've even known you before that, back in my Bartlett days. I think we had a couple of conversations. I think maybe hauled a little bit for us for Bartlett.
Yep. And I remember that. When I was still doing, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I can just remember having those conversations with you. You guys were running out in Kansas, I believe, and picking up wheat for us.
Yep. That was when I was doing all the dispatching myself and looking for loads and finding loads, and BulkLoads was a big plus to have because I was just kind of really getting going at that time. And, it's been good.
Awesome. Well, we have a lot to cover here. Your sons are involved in the business, and we've gotten to know them now, which has been awesome. But man, take us back to the very beginning of how the business started. You guys still farm today, so I want to hear about that. But yeah, if you can give it, start at the beginning as far back as you can go, and then kind of walk us through up till today.
Well, do you want me to start with the trucking or the farming, or which one?
I'd like, so, it goes hand in hand with our community, a lot of farming stuff. So I love hearing the farming. So if we can start there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I went to college. I graduated from high school in 1984, and I went to a 2-year ag school in Waseca, Minnesota. And pretty sure I wanted to farm, but I went to school anyways, and, learned a lot. My dad kind of, was a good helper in not pushing me to college, but making sure I got, an education and whatnot. So was done with that. I kind of came home to the farm and went in partnership with my dad. And he was, I guess, graceful enough to, bring me into the business. He was already starting to kind of wind down and head towards retirement at that time. And so it was good for me to kind of step in and take things over. And after a few years of farming, I didn't have a semi. I didn't have, we farmed with gravity boxes. So it was all close proximity to the farm. So as I started kind of expanding the farm a little bit and having some land a little bit further away from home, I found a need for a semi. And lo and behold, you can't use a semi all year round. Or, I found out I could. I was only hauling my own grain and stuff, but I found out that there's other things that you can put in a hopper bottom trailer other than just corn and soybeans. So as I started to get a hired man and stuff, I started looking for stuff for him to do during the downtime of agriculture, downtime of farming. And so that's kind of when I started. 1995, I bought my first truck and just kept it busy with hauling my own stuff. And then a neighbor called and he wanted his stuff hauled. So, okay, let's do that. And then another neighbor called, and then an elevator called, the local grain elevator, and they wanted me to help out. So I go, well, holy smokes. Didn't know there was this much business out there for a semi. And I kind of went from there. I went for a few years with just one semi, and I just kept getting more business to haul local grain, and so I bought another semi and kept that busy. And then we started hauling some fertilizer, local fertilizer, and in the wintertime I started hauling feed ingredients. And so it kind of just sprawled from there. I had 2 trucks for many, many years, and to just think around '02 or '03, I started getting multiple trucks and bringing some owner operators on. And we started expanding, going outside the state. Um, there was a plethora of agricultural products to haul. So I found out, and I was going to get on that bandwagon and go with it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
Talk, talk about a little bit on the farming. I mean, you saw an opportunity to get the truck, and then you talked about the neighbors having interest on that. I mean, at that time frame, were there other companies that you saw that were doing that, and you saw that that would be a good fit as well? Um,
yes, I didn't really see other farmers doing it. And let me backtrack a little bit. Before I bought my first truck, a neighbor hired me to haul peas and sweet corn for the canning company. And that's when I found out that I really liked driving truck. And
okay.
I just loved it. And I did that for a few years. And um, so I found out I loved to drive trucks. So that's when I bought my own and wanted to do my own grain hauling. So just to backtrack a little bit there. Um,
Yeah.
what was your question again about?
Well, I so you saw the yeah, you saw the need to, get the truck, and then there's opportunity to haul more products with the truck.
Mhm.
And again, when we're, as business owners, even farmers, trying to figure out, hey, how do we utilize the equipment that we have? How do we diversify? It's like you found that opportunity, but also talk about, man, there's a lot of opportunities to go out there, and whether they're profitable or not. But like, you already had the farming going. Like, talk about the extra work or what it took to also have the trucking go with that, and how do you divide the time up? You're still running the family farm, plus you're expanding the trucking operation.
Yes. At first, it was not very easy. I did everything out of my office in the house. I had a small farm shop that I worked out of. And then as I kept expanding, I had the opportunity to build a new shop, and with that, I put a bigger office inside that shop, and that's when I got my first dispatcher. And it kind of started from there, I guess, and then we just kept expanding. The trucking kind of come out a little bit of a necessity too. It was hard to raise a family just on the farm. There just wasn't enough income there to support what we had going on. So it was either go to town and get a job at a local factory or business, which I did when I was in college. Right out of college, I did that for a winter, and I said, I'm never going to do that again, because March came around and the sun started coming out, and the days got to be 60 degrees, and I was stuck in this behind these walls, and I said, I just can't do it. So I quit. That's when I did go home and farm full time also. I'm kind of remembering some of this as we go,
Yeah, this is
and
awesome.
just to fill it in. And so that's when I found out I didn't want to work at a factory. So um, that's kind of when I thought I needed some extra income for my family. That's when the trucking kind of started. So it was a little bit out of need and necessity,
Yeah,
to do something different other than farm. Um, yeah, like I said, I was young and green and didn't know a lot about trucking, and made a lot of mistakes. Um, but I just had no idea how much freight there was out there for hopper bottom trailers, until I really started digging into it, and getting on load boards, and figuring this out. And I just developed customers from there. We've had a lot of withstanding customers ever since. And now I've expanded, to I have actually 4 dispatchers now. So um, we've got just a lot of things to just keep track of, and from the start it was difficult. A lot of long days. You farm by day and truck sometimes by night, just to keep your customers happy, I found out the reason why I did get my first dispatcher is I was also custom planting a lot of corn at that time. And I was planting probably 5,000 acres. And the tractor was stopped in the field more than it was moving because I had this, kept getting calls from customers, and my drivers needed information and so on and so forth. And so that's when I found a need I got to do something different and get a dispatcher. And of course, you put long days in, so you're not getting the billing done properly.
Yep.
So, you're not getting it's not timely. So I'm not getting the billing out so I can get the money coming back in. So that got to be a cash flow issue. So then, well, I better hire a secretary, you know.
Hey guys, I have one question for you. Do you have an abundance mindset or a scarcity mindset right now? For Christmas, my sister-in-law bought us this device that's called the Bird Buddy. And it's a bird feeder that's got a camera on it, so we can see these birds that come in every day, from cardinals to finches. And it reminds me of the verse in Matthew 6:26, where Jesus talks about the birds of the air aren't worried about food, as their heavenly Father feeds them. Now, I know this time of year can be rough. We know that we are in a tough freight cycle. But if you've been in this industry for a period of time like I have, we know that this is just a natural occurrence. Regardless of what's happening, we know that there is an oversupply of trucks with an undersupply of loads, which creates a lot of competition. But my encouragement for you today is to practice an abundance mindset. We know that this industry is going to turn around. We know that loads will pick back up. Man, as long as humans walk this earth and we have animals, animals need to be fed and we have to eat. So we are in a great industry. So my encouragement to you today is, man, practice an abundance mindset. I know it's easier said than done, and it can be tough, especially in this state of the industry. But yeah, look at Matthew 6:26. That's my encouragement for you this week. God bless.
I'm going to go back just a little bit, and I want you to maybe expand on, if you can think specifically, you said you made a fair amount of mistakes. And I mean, in my years of business, I can name some of those mistakes. Man, if you don't mind sharing a couple of those just along the way, maybe some mistakes, but made you better as a company for it, while you were growing the business.
I made a lot of mistakes by not knowing a lot of DOT regulations.
Okay.
Whether it be overweight or overweight permits. I got, not proud of this, but I got myself into some trouble with logging violations. Coming from a farm background, you just get the job done and worry about it later. And that's not the way the government and our trucking industry works. There's rules to follow. So I guess my biggest thing was trying to start following rules and abiding by them. And I quickly found out my insurance company wasn't liking me very much either, because I had a few violations here and there. So I had to learn quickly. Those are some mistakes I made that I had to dig a little bit out of a hole with violations and penalties and maybe higher insurance rates until I learned my lesson that I better follow the book, So that's just stuff that I learned as I went. And I wish I could have done some of that stuff over and maybe followed some guidelines a little bit better. But that leads into another story of how my wife got involved in the truck. I was the DOT come in for a major audit, and it was right in the middle of planting season, and I wasn't going to take time off to sit next to a DOT official, I should be out planting corn.
Yeah.
And so my wife was gracious enough to say, well, I'll come in and do it, but just for this. And she never left. She's been here ever since. She really helped us out of a kind of a bind with the DOT, and we have been doing very well ever since. She keeps very close tabs on a lot of things, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you actually, while you're saying that, I was going to just point out, we got your calendar in, man. You have a beautiful family, by the way. This is
Thank you.
looks like a wedding photo. But yeah, talk about your family a little bit. Obviously, you got your wife there, but then two boys, right, that are both involved in the business.
My son Jake is involved in the trucking. He is taking a role. He was a dispatcher after he got out of college in 2016, I believe. He wanted to come back to the business, and we put him in the role as one of the dispatchers, and that's how he kind of started learning things from there. And since then, he's kind of gotten into a general manager role, and he is now, he's very educated on everything that goes on a daily basis, and he's kind of starting to run the show, if I might say. Very proud of how he stepped up to the plate, and he takes every opportunity to learn and gain from that, and become very good at what he does. So it allows me to step back just a little bit and maybe focus on some other things.
Yeah.
And my other son, Luke, when he got out of college in 2018, I believe it was, or maybe just 2019, he came back to the farm, and he is now a major part of the daily farm operations. He also sells seed, and he's doing very well at that. And that's a tough business to be in, but he's very competitive. He's done very well at that, and he's starting to run some of his own land, and he's working his way into it. My son Jake got married in 2022, and my other son Luke got married in last September, Labor Day weekend in 2023.
Okay.
Yeah. They both got married at our house in our backyard, which was very nice. Beautiful setting, and
Yeah.
it worked out very, very well. And I'm very proud to have lovely wives, and they're big supporters in what they do too.
Yeah.
So it really makes it a good family nucleus. Very happy, we work together all day as a family, and we still find time to, play at night, or go out for dinner at night together, and still spend a lot of time together. So it's been very, I should say, I've been very lucky, very blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. Super blessed. Just to give our audience perspective, can you give us kind of broadly how big the farming operation is, and then the trucking operation?
Yes. I farm about 1,100 acres, and that's all, spread out over about a 15-mile radius here, I guess, from our home shop here.
Okay.
And we run about 40 trucks. We got about 30, probably 35 company trucks, and a few owner operators. And we used to have more owner operators, but that business model hasn't seems to be going by the wayside for some reason. But now, yeah, we're running about 40 trucks altogether. We have some local freight that we haul a lot of dairy feed to local dairy farmers, and we haul a lot of food ingredients, food grade, I should say, feed ingredients and food grade in our hopper bottoms.
And you also have a few van trailers too, right? I mean, as far as trailers, you got the hoppers. That's probably the biggest part of the fleet, but then also some
Yep.
dry vans.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, we have a few dry vans out there. We have some freight that consistent freight that we haul. Like, it's still tied to agriculture. It's like milk replace or stuff like that we haul. So we're still using our egg connections in the van industry also.
And then as far as states covered, kind of the territory that you all run the trucks in, can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
We're primarily regional, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, some Indiana and Illinois. That's primarily probably 60% of where we stay at, but we do a lot in the Carolinas, some Pennsylvania, a little bit of Texas, occasional Colorado, Kansas, Kansas City. So that's kind of our, the guys are still gone Monday through Friday. Even if they're regional, we keep them, kind of local in those states, and it's worked out pretty well. We have a very good, I guess, customer base, that we deal with on a regular basis. It's been very good.
Well,
Thank
and I
goodness.
actually, yeah, I wanted to actually segue right into that. I'm going to back up just a little bit, but I think this kind of puts a bow tie on this. You know, you're talking about having a couple trucks and then, today running 40 plus trucks. Again, we know that doesn't happen overnight, but when did you really see that vision that, hey, we got something maybe sustainable here, that we have something that we can weather through the storm, something that's going to give us a return on our investment, provide for our families? Like, when did you really see that that opportunity was there? And maybe as kind of the leader of the household, kind of the head, like to really cast that vision that, hey, we're going to grow this business.
Yeah, about 2010 is when I really felt like we make a push here. I had one of my owner operators was also, a good friend of mine, and he how do I state this? He really got behind me and said, "Hey, there's a plethora of freight out there. Let's go for it." And so he helped me. I would say, well, let me backtrack. I'm going to say about 2005, 2006. That was, and he kind of inspired me to go for it, and he was very helpful at that time, to help me. He was kind of my sidekick, I guess you'd say, for growing. And then, of course, I built a new shop in 2006. So then I had to justify that new shop by adding more trucks and adding more personnel, so we could, gather more gross income to make it all work. So, and then I had that other shop. I was in there in that office until 2017. We built a new facility on the north side of Randolph here, and we expanded the offices and built a little bit bigger shop. But the biggest thing probably is I added a commercial truck wash. Also,
Yeah, actually, I was just writing that down because I wanted to make sure and mention that you guys actually have a commercial truck wash too.
Because we got in this to food grade and food grade loads, we were doing a lot of washouts in our hopper bottoms. And I go, well, the industry is kind of pushing this, everything, even vans, we have to have washouts on. So even though it's palletized and on pallets, it just sounded weird to me, but there was a need for washouts. So I go, well, we're not the only company that needs a washout. Let's do it commercially and do it for others. And that's been really going well. There's just a tremendous amount of trucking companies come through here to get to get their washouts. And I'm not sure, I shouldn't spit this out without knowing the fact, but I think I'm the only one around in the state for sure that's got a hopper dryer. In the wintertime, when you dry the hoppers, or excuse me, when you wash the hoppers, we always had to let it sit in the shop and dry out. Well, there's not time for that. So I installed a hopper dryer to be able to dry out the inside of the hopper, within about a 10-minute period, so that the trailer's ready to go to the next load. I mean, sometimes you go to get the next load and the trailer might be a little damp on the slopes and stuff, rather than the product sticks. Then you need another washout after that just to load the next load. So I got the idea from the person who installed my truck wash, all the equipment. He kind of put it in my head. Well, you guys do a lot of washouts, don't you? I go, you ever thought about putting something in there so you can dry the hoppers on? I go, well, I sure thought about it. We used to put a squirrel cage fan on top of the trailers and just blow air around. But he says, well, it works so much better if you got heat. So we put a a furnace in with a lot of BTUs, and now we have tubes we drop down inside the trailer, and it blows out and dries the trailer with heat very quickly.
Yeah.
So we've
Any
had a
given week,
lot of.
I was just to say, any given week, how many trailers are getting washed out through your all's washout?
Well, it's hard to pinpoint the actual washouts, but I'm going to say, other than our own, we probably do close to 100 washes a week of
Oh, wow.
outside trucks. I'm going to say probably 15 of those to 20 of those are trailer washouts. Kind of goes in spurts. We'll do 10 washouts in a day, and then we won't see any for a couple of days. So it kind of depends on certain factors and stuff. But yeah, we have the truck wash has been a good addition, and it's well needed. I've always liked keeping my equipment clean.
Yeah.
I've always, when I look at another truck and I see it going up and down the road and it's dirty, I just think, well, the maintenance is probably not there then either. They're probably not maintaining it properly if they're not keeping it clean. Excuse me. So I really like to have clean looking equipment. I just think it keeps certain officials, maybe look at that. And I have had the DOT in my yard actually saying, well, when we see one of your trucks, we don't even think twice. They're always clean. They always look good. And we know they're maintained well, because when they do go on inspections, we never find anything. So with that said, a lot of times we go through scales and we don't even get pulled in because we're, they know who we are.
Obviously you have the truck wash, but is there a rule of thumb on how often those trucks go through there? I mean, is it once a week or?
Yep. When the trucks come home on the weekend, I have a full staff here on Saturdays. We wash just our own trucks only. And
Wow.
so every truck, if it's in the yard, it gets washed.
Yeah. I was,
and of course,
there's a company down here in Springfield, Prime, and obviously they're a huge company, but I heard one time that if any trucks that come through there, it's a mandatory wash before they leave, and it was the same philosophy that all those trucks. And again, if you ever see a Prime truck on the road, especially down here, they're always, spit shine clean. Yep.
I used to spend every Saturday years ago. I used to spend every Saturday myself. Before the kids were old enough, that's what I did every Saturday. I washed trucks just about the whole day. I took to wash trucks, and as the kids got older, they started helping me, and which was a blessing. And then building this facility, of course, now I have full wash staff 6 days a week that to do it, and it's been good.
Yeah, that's super cool. A couple other questions I got, Garlan, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. But the freight market, kind of the current state right now, it's gotten probably a little choppy. We're in a little bit of a correction market, some would say. Obviously we're in the winter months too. We on BulkLoads, we tend to see a lot of forum posts, and you can kind of get a lot of wrath, people talking about the industry being tough, and people want to point fingers and blame everything else. So I would just love to hear your words or your response to that. I mean, you've been now in business for 20 plus years on the trucking side. You guys are up to 40 trucks. What would you say to the guys out there that are maybe going through a rough patch, or they've gotten started? The industry seems like it's on the backside right now. I've had some people say it's they're thinking about getting out of it. Again, I've been in this for a while. I've seen these cycles, but like, what would be your comment to those companies out there that may be struggling right now?
Stick with it. It'll get better. Economics, there's ebbs and flows in the economy. There always has been, always will be. If you can financially weather a storm, stick with it. There'll be better times ahead. This country always needs trucks, always needs freight hauled. I don't want to get political, but at the moment we just seem to have a regime that doesn't like business, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think if we stick with it, we will come through this. We had some really good times in trucking in the late teens, like 2015 through 2020 were pretty good in our industry.
Yep.
That's where we saw the most, the best years. And then about a year and a half, about probably 2 years already, we started seeing a downswing here, and rates really have plummeted. Diesel fuel, of course, went up. So in good times, you just have to kind of stick some money aside, and knowing when the bad times come, you can hopefully weather that storm. So my advice, I guess, if you're thinking of getting out, don't. Unless your heart's not in it. I would say that we will have better times to come, and you'll get the rewards at that time. There's a lot of rewards with taking chances. So, and I'm glad I hung with it. There was a couple of times I was willing or wanting to get out, and I'm sure glad that I did not. Would have been the easy way to do it, go find something else to do. But I'm sure glad I didn't do that, and I would have really kicked myself if I did.
Yeah.
So my advice is
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So for Dubbels Trucking, what does the next 5-10 years look like? What's that next vision, or what's the next plan for maybe growth or opportunities?
Yep. Well, we're going to continue with our customers we have. Our customers do keep asking us to do more, and there's more opportunities there with them. And also looking for other customers also that maybe we haven't searched for yet, maybe add some personnel to be able to help do that. And I guess I do want to expand. One thing that's keeping us from expanding right now is a driver shortage. That's been a really struggle. We're very blessed to have a lot of longevity in our company. We've had drivers here for 15 up to 20 years. You're always going to have your few that come and go, every 6 months or so. But we've got some really good drivers now, and we're very proud of them. They're doing well, and they seem to be sticking with us and not moving on to somewhere else. We're lucky we are affiliated with a truck driving school where we're partners with them. We do give that school a truck and trailer to use during their class time.
Oh, wow.
So it's a 3-month course, and we do provide that. And I do have a driver manager that works closely with the instructor on that, and he's down there with the class, presenting stuff, going down there and helping out with the class occasionally to help them, to get us in the forefront that, hey, we're Dubbels Trucking. You will have a job with us for sure when you graduate. We just want to. It's been a good thing for us. We've been affiliated with them now for probably 6 years, and that has been a very good way to get drivers and to keep them.
I've never heard of that. That's super smart and innovative to you let them use one of your trucks and they see your name on the side. And it's like, that's a cool recruiting tool to be partnered with those. That's a great idea.
Like 2 Saturdays ago, they had an open house for the school for new prospective students to come and sign up and to see what the class is all about. When we had 4 trucks down there, my driver manager and myself each brought a truck down there, and then we had 2 of our company drivers that lived in the area down there. They stopped in too because they were both with the trucks to put on display, and they were former students also, so they kind of feel proud that they were part of the program and also are part of being able to help recruit new drivers.
Yeah, so cool. So really the last question I got for you, what man, the role that you have now, I love you got one son that's kind of working on the farm side, the other one on the dispatching. What does that leave dad to do now?
A lot more free time. My heart is really in the farm side of it, so it allows me to spend more time out in the field, spend more time doing that kind of stuff. I still really enjoy hauling grain, and that allows me to haul my own grain yet to wherever I sell it to. So that's still one of my joys, because that's how I started, was hauling grain, and I just love it. And so it allows me to do more of what I want, and not the stuff that have to. My sons have really taken a tremendous amount of pressure, the everyday pressure, off of me, to allow me to be able to do some of that stuff. I'm not so not forced to be sitting behind my desk as much as I used to be,
Yeah.
which doesn't bother me a bit. But in the future, I'm hoping that I'm now 58 years old, and in the next 10 years, I'm probably going to start deciding that maybe this is something I don't want to do anymore, and I have to make a transition at the time with my sons, but that's going to depend on the tax laws and the certain laws at the time, how we do it, what kind of strategy we use,
Mhm.
so it is time to start putting stuff in place now. And my wife and I have talked quite a bit about starting to do that. So
Yeah. So cool. Well, I've never said this, I think, on the podcast, but man, you've lived the American dream, which is awesome. I mean, from the farming to the trucking, and your father passing it on, and then now your sons being involved in the business, and quite frankly, a very successful business, and being innovative with the truck washes and the schools. So yeah, I just want to commend you on that. But Garland, thank you so much for coming on the BulkLoads podcast. Again, thank you for always being a member and supporter for us and BulkLoads. Man, we love what you guys are doing, and man, just a great heartfelt story. So thank you so much for being on the show.
well, thank you for having me, and it's a team effort here too, because we use BulkLoads every day, and it's really enhanced our business also. So it's a two-way street.
Awesome. Thanks, Garland.
Yeah, thank you much.
Tanner, what I loved about this episode is Garland gave advice at the end, and Jared really prompted that, and he said, Garland, out of all your years of experience, what can you provide to these members listening that are struggling in this industry right now? And pretty much what Garland said is stick with it. Just power through. There will always be freight to haul. You just gotta keep at it, grind, and then the market will flip over, and hopefully things will turn over.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're seeing a lot right now on our forum that, and it's really sad to see, but a lot of our members are saying, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I really can't do this anymore. And just reaching out for advice for other carriers to say, try different avenues. And I know you've seen that a lot on your side too. But I just want to reiterate what Garland said, man. If you can stick with it, try to stick with it. I think it will turn out for you in the end. Make smart business decisions. If you need help, reach out to us. We're always available for advice on what we can do from our end. I know we have services that can help you. Those services being obviously the load board. We can reach out to find dedicated work with direct shippers. But also we have other services like smart freight funding, factoring, which will help you with that cash flow. So I know a lot of people have a negative connotation about factoring, or they maybe don't think they need it. I'll say the good thing about smart freight is that we don't have any contracts. So if you guys want to get set up and you guys just want to factor these loads in the hard times, maybe until the market flips over in 6 to 8 months, you're more than welcome to do that. But you got to get to a point where you have steady cash flow to do that. And I think we're seeing a lot of guys get set up. So we definitely want to work with you guys. We'd hate to see you go, over to these other factoring services that lock you in a contract, make you factor everything, and then you can't get out of it. Yeah. So that's one thing we offer. We also offer insurance for trucking. So a lot of guys are getting a break on their premium right now by letting us quote their insurance. We have amazing producers in the office who know bulk freight. They are bulk freight experts, so they know kind of different things. They can look at the policy and say, oh, you don't need this coverage. Oh, you have this value too high or whatever. And then we're able to lower that premium for you. So if you're interested in that, your renewal is coming up, reach out to us. You can go to the insurance tab on BulkLoads or bulkinsurancegroup.com. And then also, as we mentioned in the intro, we have our BulkLoads permitting starting up. So, and that's just going to be another avenue to where we can take that paperwork off of you, so you can just worry about the wheels turning, making that money, instead of trying to process paperwork and figure out what you can and can't do. If you want to talk about, you said we were just chatting, IFTAs are coming up.
Yeah. The one thing, I know that it's just like anything, taxes, it's inevitable, but, first quarter IFTAs are going to be due April 31st. And so I know that's like kind of the first deadline of the year after first quarter. And so if you're thinking, hey, I don't want to deal with these anymore, I don't have to worry about filing them anymore, reach out. And it's coming up here. And so the sooner the better. Be happy to take those off your hands. And then I know later in the year, the heavyweight tax as well. And so any way that we can just give you one less thing to worry about, we'll surely do it. And I think, back to what you said earlier, just about the forums, I really love that our community comes around guys.
Yeah.
Maybe when someone is struggling, guys are giving advice. Guys are saying, keep going. I've been there. I'm now on the other side. And I think that's just what's so special about our community is, they all want each other to succeed. And again, like Tyler said, that's the heart behind our business units, is helping guys, helping them focus on what's more important, to spend more time with the family, to have a successful business, and spend less time doing paperwork. And so that's our goal.
Yeah, I can say there's nothing like the ag community.
Yep.
There's nothing like the agriculture, the bulk freight community. These guys are just down to earth. I mean, so they're exactly like us. So which I love. Yep. Also, I was going to mention BulkLoads TMS, our transportation management system. We also offer that platform. If you're running more than a couple trucks, you need to look into this system. You can go to the Bulk TMS or the transportation management tab on BulkLoads, or you can go to bulktms.com. Basically, it's just a way to get your time back. It's a way to streamline and make your whole trucking operation efficient. That way you can focus on gaining new business instead of maybe punching things into an Excel sheet, texting out loads every day. It'll automate all that for you. So definitely look into that. Before we get out of here, I will go ahead and mention a few things. We got the Mid-America Truck Show coming up. We got a lot of guys in the office getting excited about that. I'm always excited for it. It's just 3 days of trucking. So it's just, nothing better. So we will have a booth this year at Matt's again. We'll actually have a show truck in our booth this year. So that's very exciting. I think a lot of guys are going to be able to stop by, take a look at that. And our booth number is the same. So 65120. Make sure to come see us and meet us. And we'd love to meet you and possibly take you out to dinner. So if you're going to be there, make sure to let us know. You can just email us, podcast@bulkloads.com. We'll mark your name down. So very excited for that. Also, the Bulk Freight Conference, Tanner. This will be your first one.
Yeah, first one. I can't wait. I'm excited to just put a face to a name of all these guys I've been talking to, and just get to, rub shoulders with some of the guys that we spend talking to all the time.
Yeah, I think we're pumped. Our members are pumped. So we got tickets that are selling out. We have limited tickets. So go to bulkfreightconference.com. Make sure to secure your tickets on there. And Joe will also put a video up of Jared just kind of explaining what you can expect at the conference if you haven't been there already.
Hey guys, Jared Flinn here. I want to personally invite you to the Bulk Freight Conference coming up. You do not want to miss this. I started attending conferences 15 years ago and realized how valuable it became for me, expanding my network and networking with people that have helped grow my business. So we did that last year. We started our first Bulk Freight Conference. It was a blast. So this year we're going to host our second annual one. We're expecting over 500 people to be there. Within this conference, you're going to be able to network with other shipping companies, brokerages, owner-operators, fleet companies. We're going to have a variety of vendors there for you to work with and network with. We're going to have industry leaders speaking. We're going to have panel discussions. Again, I promise you, this is going to be something that's going to grow your business. You don't want to miss this. Honestly, I would love for more people to come to this. I mean, if we could sell this thing out, that'd be awesome. And it's not for our glory or benefit, man. It's the benefit of our community. We know when smart and bright minds come together and discuss and even debate and have conflict, man, good things happen.
I just think that's putting the cart way before the horse. We're not nowhere near that with trucking. Well, why wouldn't you want to draw this in? This is the future. Because that truck's not the future. That truck runs 150 miles and you got to recharge it. That don't work for me. My trucks are running 600 plus a day, as much as they legally can. And until you figure that out, I can't really have that conversation with you.
We've seen some of our companies that came last year and they've grown their business. Some of these companies that were half the size last year have doubled. And I think some of that they credit to some of the connections that they made and information and content that they gathered at the Bulk Freight Conference. So again, I want you to come, make sure and sign up and get a ticket today before they sell out. Some of the resistance that we've had from some customers are like, hey, I can't get out of my truck, or hey, I dispatch trucks all day. Hey, we will have time for you to take breaks and take care of business. We got a lot of designated breaks, so you'll be able to conduct that business. Today, in this digital age, like we're doing with BulkLoads, you can do business on the road. You can do it in other spots, and we're gonna embrace that and make sure that you have the tools to do that. So don't miss the Bulk Freight Conference. Man, we want you there to meet you, but to grow your business. Sign up, bulkfreightconference.com. We wanna see you there. God bless.
So last but not least, Tanner, we know that there are a lot of hardships going out there, especially for the owner operators. We know for everyone in the industry, everyone is dealing with something different, but especially our owner operators, the small guys, they're really feeling it the most. And we see that all the time. So if you have any prayer requests, and outside of business too, if you're going through a divorce, if you're struggling with relationships with your kids or anything like that, if you're going through any kind of financial crisis, anything, please reach out to us. Submit those prayer requests at prayer@bulkloads.com. We have team members that pray over those daily, and we definitely believe in the power of prayer, and we know that we have a big God, and He can do almighty powerful things. So definitely submit those prayer requests. They're totally confidential, but we want to be able to pray for you, and we want to see you make it through. So, Tanner, if you don't mind, if you want to go ahead and close this podcast out with a prayer.
Yeah, love to. Yeah, let's pray. Dear God, thank you that all good things come from you. And Lord, as Tyler said, God, we just pray for those who are having a hard time right now. God, we pray for those who are maybe experiencing health issues, God, that you would heal them. God, for those who just don't have the strength to keep going, God, that you would give them strength. Lord, for those who need relationships healed, Lord, or financial breakthrough, God, we just pray that you would provide because you are the provider. God, thank you that for all that you've given us, that all good things come from you. And we pray all this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tanner. Guys, thank you for listening to the BulkLoads Podcast. If you don't mind, go ahead and hit the subscribe button over here. If you just hit that subscribe button, what that does is that just helps our channel grow, and it actually helps us produce content and get that content out for more people to see. We know there's a lot of guys out there who could use this advice, who could use the advice of Garlan from Dubbels Trucking, saying, hey, you just got to power through. You just got to make it through. Stick with it. There will always be freight to haul. So if you could, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'd love to notify you whenever podcasts drop or new videos come out. So, all right, well, we'll see you on the next one. God bless.